Welcome to the Odd Life Podcast. That's AWED, which stands for Awake, Well, and Empowered. We're here to have conversations to inspire women of all ages to live odd AF. I'm your host, Hallie, and thank you so much for being here. Let's dive in. Hello, everybody. Welcome back to another week of the podcast. I'm just chilling with you today, solo, but I do have my little puppy Wilson back here, if you can see in the video. There's a little bit of a different background because I'm in Colorado. The blurred out in the background here, those are pine trees. And there are 5 big windows in this house. And if it wasn't for these windows, I don't think we would have the same experience. There's so much sunlight that comes in. We see basically 270 degrees of the treetops and mountain around us. And it's amazing. And the reason I'm here is because we did this last year. If you followed along back then, we came out here last year to spend the baseball season in Colorado. My oldest at the time and my youngest both played on the same team, about a 45-minute drive from right here. So we decided to find a rental so we could spend the season out here rather than driving back and forth every weekend to watch them play together. And now that we have nobody at home, it makes a whole lot of sense to keep doing this. And we loved our time out here. It went by so fast that we didn't get to everything we wanted to do. And we're trying this time around to do more and get out in the community more, to be more part of it. But last year was such a whirlwind. We had so much going on. Last year I went on a retreat, which basically took up 2 full weekends. And when I got back the following weekend, my older son broke his hand. We had surgery with all that, trying to get him back to playing. And then we had to change houses. It just was a lot. So this time, we're in the same house we were in the very beginning of last year. The owner reached out to us and said, "Hey, we're starting to get booked up a little bit. Are you guys considering coming back out?" And we said, "Yeah, that'd be great." She worked with us on the price, and now we're here the whole entire time. We move out early May at the end of the baseball season and head back home again to Kansas City. So this has been our home for the last couple of weeks. We moved out here midweek, and baseball takes up the whole weekend. We usually have a game on Friday, 2 games on Saturday, and then a game on Sunday. So we try and squeeze in other things Monday through Thursday if we can. And then also what happens is our son will come up in the middle of the week, maybe after practice. He'll come up, have dinner with us, hang out in the hot tub, the fire pit, look at the stars, whatever. And he takes off the next morning or even that evening, depending on what he's got going on in the morning. So we don't have a ton of time, but that's why we're out here, to spend time with our youngest, to be at all the baseball games. We're going to try and sneak in more this year than we did last year. So that's what we're up to. So hence the different background than my little office back home. But the dogs love it. It's a little warmer than usual. Last year at this time, it was still pretty brisk. Today it's in the 70s. And when you sit outside in Colorado on a stone patio, it feels like 85, 90. I sat outside this morning just a little bit ago reading and doing some journaling, and I had to come inside. Normally the puppies like being out here because it's cool. They're not panting all the time, but right now they kind of are. So it's a little unusual for us at this time to be out here and be this hot. And it's also a little scary because the risk of wildfires. We've already had one just over the mountain in Fort Carson. We're just up the road from Colorado Springs, just a heads up where we're at. But over the mountain, there's a base over there called Fort Carson, and they had a fire over there. It was getting a little sketchy, but it was all blowing east and southeast, so we didn't get any of it here. My son was out with a friend the other day, and they came across a bunch of people had stopped on the side of the highway to put out a fire that was about 50 yards from the highway. And they all ran up there kicking dirt on it, took their shirts, trying to get this fire out. Someone had called the fire department, but in the meantime, they wanted to do everything they could before it started to take off, because he said if the wind was blowing just the other direction, there's no chance this thing would have been under control. So it's happening, and it sucks because it's so pretty. And for them not to get enough moisture is scary for the summer. And everyone's on high alert at all times. It doesn't take much when things are really, really dry. We're paying attention to the news and what's happening around here. But we're loving it. We've always loved Colorado. We've been coming out here for years since my husband and I dated. I mentioned this, I don't know, a couple podcasts ago about my entry into hiking and just bringing the kids out here for skiing every spring break. It's the place we've always come for a little getaway. And if you've never been to Colorado in the summertime, you are missing out. Being in the mountains in the summer is amazing. You get a cool morning, you get to shed the layers, and then you have the sun beating on you. all the activities, and then you put the clothes back on at night. You get to watch all the stars. We still get some of the Colorado Springs light where we're at, but it's pretty minimal. And so we can sit in the hot tub and look at the stars. Or if I let the puppies out to go one last potty, it's tempting to not just pull a chair out and sit and stare at the sky. It's pretty amazing. We're here for another month and a half, and then we head home. So in the meantime, trying to live a normal life. So things that are working in our favor right now is they have put in a new Planet Fitness down in Old Colorado City. So that's a 10, 15-minute drive at most. Went in December. They've got red light therapy, some massage chairs, things like that. They've got this black card membership. So I did that. We'll do it for a couple of months and then I'll cancel it. And then we'll do it again next year. But that's been a saving grace because the nicer one that we went to last year was all the way on the north side of town. It took us 45 minutes to get there, usually. So that sucked. And that really hurt our fitness routine. So now with that down the hill, it's amazing. I've already visited one of the boutiques down there that I love, bought an outfit that I probably won't wear till I get home, but still trying to visit more local places, stay away from the Targets. I had to go to Ulta a couple times already, but other than that, trying to really support the local community. I'm also looking to add some yoga and Pilates while I'm out here as well. So I have looked into ClassPass to check out what they've got on their roster of studios that I can attend. And I think I've got a pretty good selection. I'm not usually a huge class person. I go to the gym quite a bit, but I do love yoga and I do love Pilates. And I think even if I went just one time a week to those things, it's worth it. I need to give myself a little bit of a break from the monotonous routine of going to the gym. I do need to break it up. I need to work on flexibility. I do love the calm and the feelings I get when I go to a yoga session. So I need to add that more into my regular routine. So I'm going to do it here. This year, made a promise to myself, I'm going to keep up on my reading while I'm here. Last year, I brought a stack of books, read none of them. So I just drug around a bunch of books all over the place. This year, I told myself I am reading these books. I'm trying to stay on target. I was 3 books ahead of schedule before coming out here. And right now I'm dead even. So I've got to pick up the pace. I have some nonfiction, some fiction. I've got a little bit of both. And I always love to visit a local bookstore when I'm out here and buy a book as well. So I got to get through these before I can justify really doing that. I did bring my watercolors. I thought with the cooler weather being up here, it's a great activity to do. But it's so nice out that I just want to be outside. So I'm not sure those are going to get touched. This chair right here normally is facing the other direction, but I turn it towards the window. So I like to sit there in the morning if it's too cool and read and journal, or I'll go outside. My husband's usually sitting right here working first thing in the morning. He's been getting up early and clocking in and starting his day. So he's usually sitting here. So that's not the most peaceful thing for me to sit there and read and journal. So I've been spending more time outside doing that in the morning because it's been so nice. The weather's been amazing. So that's probably more of when he's gone or doing something else. Different than last year, we have people across the street that are long-term residents. My husband interacted with them just a little bit the other day, and he asked if they own the house. They said, no, not yet, but they love it up here, I guess. And I've seen them outside hanging out. They're a younger couple. They're probably in their 30s, I think. Don't know what they do. Maybe they work remotely, but they don't seem to have a regular schedule. They kind of come and go just like we do. And I'm sure they wondered the same thing about us too. Like, what do you guys do? And they're super nice, wave at us. They've got a little dog, no kids. I have a feeling we're going to get to know them more as time goes on. We haven't seen any wildlife yet in the yard. We've seen some mule deer around. Last year, we moved from this place to a cabin further west, a little higher elevation. And the owner sent me a video of Mama Bear and 2 babies in the yard. So I'm expecting that to happen at some time since we're here until May. It's a little warmer down here. It's unusually warm in general. So I have a feeling bears are coming out a lot sooner and we're going to see something. Well, we have a Ring camera that has an alert. So if something moves in front of the door, we're going to hear it. So we make sure we pay attention to what's outside. I have looked up on meetup.com in the area if there's any women's activities, maybe a little hiking group, maybe a coffee get together or something like that, trying to expand my horizons, get more involved. Like I said, the weekends are busy. So it's Monday through Thursday is the time I get to see what's going on around me. Even just getting downtown and finding a coffee shop or going to these yoga classes. Hopefully I can learn what's happening in the community and find some other ways to connect with people. But really want to feel more like a resident this year than a visitor. I know that time will come as well, that I'm not always doing this, being the baseball mom. That will come to an end at some point. I also realize the reason I'm out here right now is to be here for our son, to go to all of his games, be here when he comes up to visit, have dinner for him whenever he can make it up here. And there'll be time at some point that we will be doing this longer term where it's not about the kids, it's about us and our activities. So I'm going to take this time to prioritize him. But if I can squeak in a few things while I'm here, I'm going to do that. Got a friend that lives in Denver. We're going to try and get together and meet for lunch. I've got another friend that lives on the east side of Denver. We're going to try and figure out if we can get together for a hike or a walk or something. And we haven't seen each other for a while. So I'm going to try and do that while I'm up here. And the next thing you know, we're heading home. So it doesn't take much for our calendars to get full. I'm sure you feel that in your daily life as well. So another thing that's different this go round is I'm staying in a different bedroom this time, which is what I've been doing at home. My husband's been elevating the head and the feet quite a bit in our bed, and he also snores. He was trying to do it to keep himself from snoring, but it really doesn't work. But he likes that cocoon feeling of our bed. And I want good sleep. I had been rationing my hormones because I needed to do blood work so that my practitioner could see where we're at, but I couldn't get into her for a little longer than I expected. So I had to ration out my hormones, and that jacked up my sleep. So I had to do what I could to give myself at least a good 7 hours of uninterrupted sleep. So at home, we've been doing it for the last month or so before we came out here, and we're doing it now, which is great because he's getting up really early, coming out here and working. And so if I stay in the other bedroom, I don't get woken up early. And two, I get some really good sleep. So that's sort of what we're doing. Believe me, we're still doing our conjugal visits. We're all good there. I have learned that daytime is fantastic for that because at night, we're all like checked out, tired, exhausted, and just want to get in bed. So daytime has been working out for us. So we're still good there. All good. Hormones are doing their job. What else is happening that's new? I think it's sort of the same. I brought our espresso maker up with us this time. We're spending a lot less money on coffees and whatnot. And we're eating more at home. I have just enough food to get us through the week. They bought a grill, so we've been using it multiple times. It's been great. We are a big grill family at home. It's nice to have that out here. Yeah, that's what we got going on. The only other thing I would say that's different about this year is that my headspace was a little different before coming out this time. Last year, I was so excited. I couldn't wait to get out here. Both of my boys are out here, going to watch them play together. It's so great. This is all new. Didn't know what to expect. And I love being in Colorado. This year, we're leaving a son behind. He's at home, rehabbing an elbow, and then the state of the world. A lot happening before coming out here. And it's a lot of heavy stuff. And just wondering what it might mean for my boys someday. Who knows? Worried about my kids in general, worried about friends, and worried about freedoms. So there was that kind of weighing on my mind before coming out. And then I left behind my sober social club that I had back in Kansas City that I started. And here I am turning around and leaving for a couple of months. And that was hard. I want to be with these gals. I was just getting to know them, and we're playing Mahjong together, and we started a book club and meeting for coffee and walks and all of that. And then I'm gone for a couple of months. So I feel like I'm putting a big halt on getting to know them. There hasn't been a ton of activity since I've left, which bums me out. I'm hoping that some women reach out to each other and want to get together, but I'm trying to schedule some Mahjong meetups while I'm out here and see if at least those gals can meet a couple times before I get back. So still working on that. I did float this by them a couple days ago about maybe a little weekend getaway to enjoy the summer. I've gotten a couple thumbs up on that. So I'm going to work on seeing what I can find there. Yeah, so that's where I'm at right now with everything. It's a little bit up and down, a lot of great things, a lot of things weighing on me as well. But overall, still a great experience. We love being up here. Love the chance we got to do this. This has been one of the best things we've ever done, is to rent this place out. And I highly recommend, if there's a chance that perhaps it's a lull in your life, maybe you have an empty nest as well, maybe you have a job that you can work remotely, to give it a shot. But we still live in the house we bought 20 years ago. We have some disposable income now because we've got one that's off the payroll for the most part, one that will be here soon. We have one left in college. So we've got a little extra income to do this. If you get a chance to stay someplace longer term, it's been a great way to get out of some of that routine of life that feels, I don't say ho hum, but If you need a little spark, if you need a little something to look forward to, even if it's just for a couple of weeks, check out doing a little bit more longer term rental, because the benefits for us have been changing up our routines, have been pushing us out of our comfort zone at times. I mean, we love Colorado. We feel really comfortable being here, but I think it's a muscle that you have to keep working. We can easily just stay in our everyday life, do the same thing every day. And I don't want that kind of life. I want a life that's going to challenge me, because that's the only way that we grow as people, is when we have challenging things that happen in our life, mentally, physically, whatever. And doing something like this will challenge you. You got to figure out the lay of the land. You got to find the place. Number one, there's challenges of maybe trying to figure out how to work in a different location if you can, meeting people, being social, finding a gym if that's important for you. I really encourage you to give it a shot if you can. And I know this comes from a privileged position that we can afford to do this, but I can do this anywhere. I bring my stuff with me. I can write wherever I'm at. My husband, he's got a computer. We have Wi-Fi. He can work from anywhere. He was up in Denver today working. He's got some clients still up there he's working with. He's got access to an airport. If he has to go see clients, he can hop on a plane and head down there for a couple of days. So he's good. We couldn't be someplace completely remote that he couldn't get on an airplane. Someday when he's not in sales, he may be able to be a little more remote. But for now, this works for us. Having this access to Colorado Springs 10, 15 minutes down the road is ideal for us right now. So that's the update. That's what's going on. Nothing crazy to share with you today. I want to say thanks for hanging out with me. I'm trying to share more on social media without being on social media myself. Oh man, I got sucked in this morning again. I was looking at something my daughter had shared, and then I got going. I flipped to the other social media app that I have, and then I looked through that for a while. So I want to share stuff, but I also don't want to get sucked in. So I'm trying to really fight that battle within myself. I'm a dopamine chaser. I am. It is what it is. I'm thinking about the days before phones showed up and did life. And the hard thing is for me is trying to grow a brand and a podcast and a community. Social media is it right now. That's where you have to be. And so I have to really be self-disciplined and not abusing it, just using it to get my message out and to share and to direct people to what I'm doing. So find me at Hallie_Sawyer on Instagram. And that's where I'm sharing some of our little daily escapades here up in Colorado. You can find me on Substack. I've got a couple different publications. I have one called Odd AF, which is my weekly essay that I write. And then I do my Odd Things newsletter wrap up. It's basically a wrap up of the week, something I've done or I've found that can help us live awake, well, and empowered. And maybe a little news update, maybe a link to the podcast episode in case you hadn't seen it. But that's what I do over there on Substack. And then all of these podcast episodes since season 2, they're on YouTube. So if you want to see me chatting with you, you can go to YouTube, obviously. And of course, there's a link in my show notes for that. All right, have a great rest of your week, and we'll see you soon. Thanks so much for listening. I hope you found this episode either helpful, inspiring, entertaining, or just made you feel less alone, or maybe all of those things. If so, I'd love it if you'd share this episode with a friend, as well as on your social media. And if I dare ask for more, to rate and review the podcast on your favorite platform, especially Apple Podcasts and Spotify. You see, the more reviews we have, the more people we can reach, and the bigger the Odd Life community can become. You guys are the best. I can't wait to chat again next week, so we'll see you then.